title of my capstone project is Integrating Google Classroom to Engage Students in the Science Classroom. Hi, I'm Lindsay McAllister and I'm participating in the Master's Degree Program for Instructional Technology. I just completed my 13th year teaching, 6 years were in middle school science and 7 in high school biology. The problem that prompted this capstone proposal is the lack of adequate professional development provided by the school to assist teachers in integrating Google Classroom to its full capacity. When surveyed, 105 out of 128 teachers do use technology for instruction at North Forsyth High School. However, it is apparent through observations that many are not properly trained to integrate engaging, student-centered, and challenging technology instruction. From survey outcomes and observations, I found that if teachers at NFHS see evidence that new instructional technology strategies can lead to increased student engagement and they can receive proper training on the strategy, they are more willing to implement it into their own practices. When observing science classrooms at NFHS in spring 2018, many classrooms used very little technology and students were not engaged, but instead using technology for non-academic purposes. In this capstone project, I addressed teachers' need to develop and integrate engaging instructional technology experiences to increase student engagement in the classroom. I provided professional learning, modeled lessons, shared resources, and provided feedback in conjunction with Google Classroom to support educators. The professional development and professional learning communities I created were intended to provide teachers with the knowledge and resources to develop instructional activities to successfully integrate Google Classroom. The capstone timeline displays the intended goals of the professional learning process starting in September 2018 and ending in January 2019. The objectives for the capstone project focus on increasing teachers' use of Google Classroom within their science classrooms. The first objective set a goal for teachers to participate in professional learning for Google Classroom and increase their use of the resource by 20%. The next objective followed at the end of the project in hopes that the teachers would continue to use Google Classroom in their own classroom on a regular basis to help increase the engagement level of their students. To evaluate the effectiveness of Google Classroom professional learning among educators, teacher surveys, observations, and coaching sessions will be provided to address the objective of, by September 2018, science teachers will participate in professional learning for creating and integrating Google Classroom to increase the use in one science class to 3 or more days a week. Professional development for Google Classroom was developed carefully to maximize the time spent with the educators so they were well prepared to step out of the training and begin implementation. The first activity occurred in August 2018 for the capstone project and included a Powtoon introduction to Google Classroom that was emailed out to all educators attending. The teachers were also provided with a prior knowledge survey regarding Google Classroom use. The following week, the teachers participated in a face-to-face professional development for Google Classroom integration into the classroom. This activity addressed the main objective that teachers would learn how to create and integrate Google Classroom in the science classroom, increase student engagement in the classroom. In September 2018, teachers had the option of participating in a face-to-face or online professional development for further Google Classroom integration training. 6 of the 8 original teachers decided to actually attend this session. During this session, the teachers worked on developing units, grading, gradebooks, communication, features, and other unique characteristics that can be used within Google Classroom. Teachers were provided with another survey evaluation for feedback on the professional learning provided to determine any modifications that should be made in the future. The outcomes were overwhelmingly positive and teachers were appreciative to learn how to increase student engagement, streamline their classroom assignments to save. Provided with another survey evaluation for feedback on the professional learning provided to determine any modifications that should be made in the future. The outcomes were overwhelmingly positive and teachers were appreciative to learn how to increase student engagement, streamline classroom assignments to save time, and be more organized. As with any project, there are some teachers who never completely buy in and are resistant to significant change in their classrooms. In October 2018, I developed a professional learning community in Google Classroom for teachers to collaborate with one another and share best practices. Using feedback from this survey provided in September, I provided screencasts in the professional learning community for Google Classroom features and tools. In November 2018, teachers completed a survey to provide feedback over the training thus far and to request any training they needed. These requests were followed up with a one-on-one conference or a link to a screencast for their specific requests. In December 2018, I began observing teachers and provided feedback through a Google form that was shared with them personally. In January 2019, using the feedback teachers provided and the observations I conducted, I had coaching sessions with teachers to give feedback on their Google Classroom integration success. To conclude the professional development, teachers were provided a final survey after their coaching session to evaluate the entire professional learning process I provided. The surveys provided excellent feedback on how to improve the process in the future. As a whole, the project goals were successfully accomplished with all of the teachers increasing their use of Google Classroom and 6 out of 8 teachers increasing their use to 3 to 4 days a week. As the professional learning subsided and observations decreased, the professional learning community developed a Google Classroom specifically for teachers to collaborate and share great ideas. Participation in the professional learning community did decrease to only 4 teachers actively using the community once the training subsided. However, it was effective in assisting with collaboration and giving ideas to colleagues during the semester of project implementation. Initially, when teachers were surveyed regarding their knowledge of Google Classroom, 3 of the 8 teachers already had knowledge of and used the resource. The survey at the conclusion of the project evaluated the teachers' comfort level of using Google Classroom after the professional learning and guidance. All 8 of the teachers that participated felt proficient or higher in the implementation of Google Classroom in their classrooms. Of the 8 teachers that felt proficient, 6 of them were using Google Classroom at least 3 days a week or more. Reflecting is an essential component to growing as a professional and a teacher leader. Through this experience, I learned the ins and outs of being a teacher leader and how challenging it is at times. I was able to see what really goes into creating professional learning for us as educators and how much time is invested in the process. Stepping into a technology facilitator role temporarily through this project allowed me to have a new respect for our own facilitator. With 140 teachers and various other individuals at our school that use technology daily, the magnitude of questions and issues they deal with each day is unreal. During the project, I found myself learning so many details about Google Classroom so that I could assist the teachers I was working with in the project. I had to learn how to manage my time wisely and be flexible as I was still running my own classroom during the process and spending my planning time or before school working with colleagues. It was an eye-opening experience to see how complex this role can really be, but it also has me excited for my future one day as a technology facilitator.